Hi there, I'm Scott Lowe with Actual Tech Media, and thank you for joining us for this Spotlight Series segment. Today, I'm joined by Steve Leeper, who is the Head of Market Development for Datadobi. Steve, thank you for joining us today.
Oh, thanks. Pleasure to be here.
So, Steve, can you tell us a little bit about your role at Datadobi and what Datadobi does in the market?
Sure. So I've been with Datadobi for about 5 years, and in my role, I serve somewhat as a bridge between our sales teams and our CTO office and backend engineering, where the focus is to bring new software solutions to our existing customer base. Um, Datadobi, if you're not familiar with it, it's been around for 10 years, and it's basically in the unstructured data market. So when you ask what unstructured data management is and things like that, that's a very broad term these days. So what does that even mean? At Datadobi, it means we're focused primarily on migrations, replication, and protection of large unstructured, meaning file and object data sets, right? So we focus on that. We've been doing that, like I said, for 10 years, and we're bringing some new products to market as it's continuing to evolve from on-premise solutions to private cloud solutions, and then into public and hybrid cloud solutions as well.
So, when customers seek you out, what are they searching for on Google? What is the business problem they're trying to address when they say, look, I need to go look at something like a Datadobi to help me solve X?
Yeah, well, one of the things that we bring to the market that is ultimately of appeal to them is that the fact that our software, and it's a software solution, we don't ever have any hardware involved in what we bring to the market. Our software solution is heterogeneous. And the fact that it's heterogeneous makes us a vendor neutral solution. And that's something that's a lot of value to customers. And primarily that's for three reasons. Because, first of all, almost all of our customers have NAS systems from multiple vendors. So they've got network attached storage from NetApp. They've got it from Dell. They might have some from Hitachi. They might have pure FlashBlade and so on and so forth, right? Or a little bit of all of it in their environment. Another thing is that they're all building, or the most of them, the majority of them, are all building some notion of a private cloud that includes S3 compatible storage.
Mhm.
And then the third thing is that there's increased interest in public cloud file services. And that's something that we've seen really increase a lot over the last year. Specifically, I'm talking about Azure Files, and then in AWS, the Elastic File Services and their FSx offering for the SMB space. Those services have matured very, very rapidly, and customers are starting to look at those in order to migrate and re-platform legacy applications, because they're not just wholesale rewriting every application in a cloud native form. So this is a way that the cloud providers are attempting to capture new content. And the fact that we're able to work with all of these, we're heterogeneous, we can work with all of these, that brings a lot of value to our customers.
So, is it a file migration platform? Is it a data management platform? What is it?
So originally started as a data migration platform. So we've got this foundation built that was able to handle petabytes worth of capacity, billions of file system objects, any protocol, any dialect of SMB, any dialect of NFS, including up through version 4.1. We're able to work with all of that, and that migration solution brings the flexibility to move to any platform. Again, kind of going back to that heterogeneous comment. We moved from that. We started having customers ask us about being able to do cross-platform replication, which is kind of a derivation of that migration solution. And then beyond that, it started being a question of, can you work with object, right? Can you take file to object? Can you do backups of it? Can you sync that content into S3 compatible storage? Things of that nature. So what's coming in the future is more of a wrapper around all of that to be able to move data and get it in the right place at the right time, be able to bridge between file and object and that nature.
So it sounds like 10 years ago when it first started as sort of a data migration platform, it sounds like it was, from a buying standpoint, it was almost a one and done. So you bought Datadobi, migrated, and then you were kind of done. It sounds like the features you're building now are stickier, so people are able to replicate files, and it sounds like there could be a data protection play here as well. Is that accurate?
Yeah, exactly. Because the migration would, exactly like you said, that'd be kind of a discrete event, maybe a hardware refresh, things like that. And then we started getting requests for being able to do replication, right, across different platforms. And some of that was a security play, because it turns out that there are some customers out there that have had breaches, and the bad guys have gotten onto the actual NAS devices and discovered the replication, the in-family replication settings, and then followed the trail of breadcrumbs to the DR sites, right, and then wreaked a lot of havoc. We Part of the benefit of our solution is that we sit outside of the actual storage arrays. We just look like a host, like anything else out there, but we're periodically doing those replication runs and keeping the platforms in sync. But so if there is some kind of breach like that, you know, we insulate that. It's a little kind of security by obfuscation to an extent. And so that's a sticky solution. And then we started getting requests for doing it's a product that we call Dobi Sync, effectively backup, because it was basically taking file data and then copying that to keeping version copies of it in Amazon S3 or really any S3 enabled storage device, right? So those particular solutions, they become what I call part of the woodwork, right? They sit in and then they just run after that. And those are on a subscription basis to customers. Whereas the migrations, those tend to come and go. But interestingly, for larger customers, there is the notion that migration is just a never-ending activity, right? You have a large organization,
Right.
25% of the capacity is rolling over every year. So migration, even though it's a discrete event, it's a constantly occurring discrete event. So we do have some of those as well.
So go back to the security piece. Essentially, you're air gapped, is what you're saying.
Exactly. So that's we have a product out now, DobiProtect, which is a combination of our replication and our syncing capabilities. Gives you a unique ability to be able to schedule those copies. So if you do have an air-gapped environment, say Friday at 11 p.m. the network opens up, you can make those copies to a third site or to a second site or bunker site, and then close that network connection after the sync is done. And after that, you've got your nice air-gapped copy there. Nothing can touch it.
Steve, this was a great overview of Datadobi. Thank you so much for giving our audience this chance to sort of peek a little bit under the covers and see what you're all about.
Thanks. Appreciate the opportunity. It's been great talking with you.
And for our audience, if you'd like to learn more about Datadobi, please visit the URL you see on your screen. It's www.datadobi.com. And if you'd like to watch more Spotlight Series segments, please visit Actual Tech Media's YouTube channel, youtube.com/actualtechmedia. Unique name. Thank you so much for your time today, and we look forward to seeing you on our next video.